Hi, Stephen here from Sound of an Ocean Wave, and this video is going to be an unboxing and first impressions of a deck I got yesterday, received yesterday, and it is the Forest of Enchantment Tarot. And some of you may be familiar with the deck. It's been, seen some of the reviews, but I thought I'd just share my thoughts on it. I seized the moment when it suddenly became available on Amazon for next day delivery. Up until for a while it's been on Amazon. It's been sort of like expected delivery in sort of like 6 to 8 weeks or something like that. Some absurd time frame like that. And yes, I know you could probably get it elsewhere, probably, I don't know, but I thought, oh, I'll see. I was like that with the Tarot Grand Lux deck that I'm using at the moment in my daily readings, my daily draw videos, and that was like that for a while, and suddenly became available for next day delivery, and I seized the moment and grabbed it while it was available, and I did the same with this. So it's the Forest of Enchantment Tarot by Lunaya Weatherstone, illustrated by Marilla Orwood. I think that's how you say it. That's how the names are spelled. Anyway, if you want to, if you need to know that who's behind the deck, it's a Llewellyn deck. Of course, it's comes in this lovely magnetic box that I like, and it opens up like that, and inside you've got the guidebook at the top, which is a lovely guidebook, and we'll look into that. And you've got the cards there in a section there with the little ribbon to pull the cards out, which we'll do in a moment and take a quick look at the cards. Let's have a quick look at the guidebook. Let's just make sure I've got the camera straight. That's it. Okay, so this is the guidebook by Lunaya Weatherstone, and it's called Your Path Through the Enchanted Forest. So the guidebook's called Your Path Through the Enchanted Forest. So it's the Forest of Enchantment Tarot, and the book is Your Path Through the Enchanted Forest. So just there's a slight difference there, but that's the guidebook. And it's a lovely illustrated guidebook. It's got colour images, full page illustrations, and it's true of the cards as well. That's one of the cards, and it's that's how it's the full page colour image of the card, and then you've got the reading about it. And what I like about it as well, you've got meaning at a glance, a quick summary at the bottom. And then also a closer look section, which points out some of the aspects of the imagery that have like a symbolic meaning or something like that, and we'll go to that soon. And it's an explanation of the concept, introduction as to the deck, the concept of the deck. It goes through how it's split into the major and minor arcana, like a lot of guidebooks do, and also the fact that, as we'll see in a moment, some of the names of the major arcana in particular have been have been changed. Like the magician is called the enchanter, for instance, but the concept's still the same. The Emperor's the Forest Lord, the Empress is the Green Mother, that kind of thing. But it explains there what it got the traditional meaning, and then what the Forest of Enchantment Tarot calls it, and it gives you a list there so that the suits. The suits have been renamed as well. But it gives you the traditional on what they are in this deck, and they make the same. I mean, for instance, right? I mean, I'll quickly go through this before we look at the cards, because you will understand when I'm introducing the cards what the difference is. But I'm going to probably remind you when I go through the cards quickly as well. But you've got the Wands suit is called the Suit of Spells. Cups is called Visions. Swords are Challenges. and pentacles are boons, or which is a gift, kind of gift, a boon. So they're called boons. So they can be generally described like this: spells, the suit of fire, action, will, confidence, transformation, courage, charisma. Visions, the suit of water, emotion, desire, love, spiritual understanding, intuition, and dreams. Challenges, the suit of air, which is conflict, strategy, intelligence, mental agility, survival. And then finally boons, the suit of earth, practical matters, prosperity, protection, healing, general well-being. So you get the gist that, even though you get how they fit with the traditional sort of meanings of the suits there. And you've got caring for your deck, questions, frequently asked questions about tarot there. Like, is it okay to read the cards for yourself? Yes, and in fact, I suggest you only read for yourself at first. That's the approach I take. So, do I have to blank? And then it says, no, you don't have to, whatever. These are your cards and you can use them any way you like. And that's, when I read that bit, I cheered at that, because a lot of people say, well, do I have to do this with a tarot deck? Do I have to do that with a tarot deck? Up to you, my friend. It's your cards. It's your tarot deck. It's a tool. It's you. If you feel that you need to do a certain thing with your tarot deck in order to work with it, then you do it. If you feel you don't have to, that you can do something different or not do it at all, then brilliant. You work with your tarot deck how you want to work with your tarot deck. It's your tarot deck, so you've paid good money for it, and you use it how you can use it, and as long as it's right for you, what's right for one is not necessarily right for another. And I love that approach. I love that. So how to use your cards, close up that about reversals and shuffling and things like that. And then it goes into the major arcana, as I've shown you, and I will, when I get to a certain card, I may refer to it just to show you how the guidebook can help you understand the images a bit better. So let's look at the cards, because the cards is what we want to see. That's what we're going to be working with ultimately. So there is the box, here's the cards. Pull out, with the ribbon, you can pull out the deck, and that's what we'll do. Of course, if you've noticed that I've not had to mess about with any cellophane, because I've already done that. And yes, I've already looked at through the cards to make sure they were okay. I've looked through the book, I was scanned through the book before doing this video. I've not done it all from scratch. So if that bothers you, then I'm sorry about that, but that's the way I chose to do the video, and I just couldn't wait to look through them. So there you go. Shoot me if you want. So but who wants to see somebody messing about trying to get cellophane off a deck and off a box? Anyway, so the cards. First thing, cardstock, because this has been a contentious issue with some people about this deck and decks like this. I suppose a Llewellyn deck, the cardstock, okay, it's not the best. It's a little bit bendy, a bit thin, but it's not, probably not the worst. And there's probably a lot better cardstock, a lot better decks with better cardstock. And I think what the major point is, and I think it was Kelly from The Truth and Story that mentioned it in her review of this, that she was saying that maybe the main point that they were trying to say was, with images that are beautiful, that when they are beautiful images, they deserve to be on perhaps better cardstock. And that's a valid point, and they perhaps do. And, would it be great if they were on better cardstock? Yes. But as we know in life, we can't always get what we want. And, people probably complained about Llewellyn boxes, that they weren't very good, they were rubbish. And so they did something about the boxes, and then that was put, and they did really good guidebooks. But that probably then meant that the cardstock suffered, and then we're complaining about that. So, is it horrific? I don't think so. But if you're a person where decent cardstock is a deal breaker, and you don't like this thin cardstock, then maybe you stay away from this deck. Maybe it's not one for you. if that's an issue for you, and you're everybody's fully entitled to have whatever deal breakers they want. You know, it's all personal preference, and if it's an issue for you, then that's fine. That's a valid issue for you, and got nothing against that. That's fine. If that, I'm just letting you know that that could be an issue if that's your mindset. So I don't want to, you know, I'm going to trying to give a true, fair evaluation of what the deck's like. So, but for me, it's not a problem. For me, it's, can I use the deck? Can I work with it? And I think I can. I can work with it. I'd certainly be able to good to shuffle with this kind of card stock, and you know, so that's okay from that point of view. Anyway, enough about card stock. Images. Let's have a look at some of the images, and there's some. As we go through, I'll start with the major arcana. I don't want to make the video too long, so, you know, famous last words and all that, because I should probably stop and expound on a few things, because that's how beautiful the images are, how what you can see in the cards and everything. But maybe you know, anyway, let's see how we go. Now, the first card we have is the 0 card, which is normally the 4, and this is one of the cards which has been renamed. This is the White Heart, right? And this is, but it's fitting, because it's like we're going to enter into the enchanted forest, and here we are at the threshold of the forest, about to enter through the forest, and he's there beginning to lead us through the adventure of going through, finding our pathway through the forest. It's like the fall, beginning a new adventure, beginning of setting on a journey. So you get that, you still get that type of archetypal meaning from this. So and it's a lovely image of the White Heart there to take us through the enchanted forest. Another one here said the magician, as I said before, is the enchanter, but you get there, he's creating, he's bringing something to life, he's got that creative energy, and like the magician. So you know, and it's the enchanted forest, so the enchanter is quite fitting a name to give. This one, we have the Wise Woman, which is the High Priestess, and it's a wonderful depiction. I feel a bit more Celtic, more like a crone figure here. I love the fact that her body type is perhaps not of the usual slender sort of high priestess that you might traditionally get. I love it that it's she, you know, the proper woman of the forest there with her wisdom and her knowledge, and she's there casting here items here to do, you know, tools of divination here. And you've got two paths here. Look, you've got a light path and a dark path here going around the tree where that she's sitting at, and it's that represents, you know, it's a bit like the white and black pillar of the traditional high priestess card, and you know which path to take, the paths, or you know, and divining the right way to go, and find your way through the forest, which is very much in keeping with the theme. And here you've got the green mother, which is the Empress, and this is very much like a Gaia type figure. You know, of the earth, very earthy, very nature. And if you look at the guidebook, the meaning at a glance is feminine power, unconditional love, nature's bounty, generosity, fertility, and motherhood, beauty. All the traditional sort of things with the Empress there. But if you look closely, I don't know if you could see it in the car, you can see there that she has like berries, currants entwined in her hair, you know, and this is pointed out in the closer look part of the reading. There's the larger image. Look, you may be able to see it a bit clearer in her hair. And it says in the closer look, the green mother has wild currants, a symbol of fertility, entwined in her hair. So that fits again with the image of the Empress, or the green mother, and the fact that the currants, the wild currants there, are representative of that fertility, of that energy, of this archetype there. So you know, that's what the closer look points things out like that. So I just wanted to, you know, give an example. There, you've got the Forest Lord is the new name for the Emperor. The Hierophant is described as the oldest one, and look at that! I love how the fact that that's a huge tree there. You got, and he's there to teach you the wisdom of the ages. You just think how many centuries that tree has grown to that size, and it's huge. And you can tell because there's a little owl there. Look at the size of the owl, how it's dwarfed by the immensity of the tree. And of course, the owl is the wisdom of the ages, wisdom. So the oldest one is a very good way there. The old wise tree in the forest that will guide you and teach you the things that you need to know, with the wisdom of the ages. You've got the lovers there, quite traditional part. This one is my birth card. It's usually the Chariot, number 7, but this is called the Fairy Wind, where you've got that forward motion, being carried forth and driving forth in a certain direction. That's that movement. And of course, you know, in the guidebook as well, it will have that meaning. Let's have a quick look here. The Fairy Wind, it means speed, change, important news, success, self-governance, independent achievement. Then the closer look is legends tell of people who were swept up by the fairy wind and deposited miles away. So it's like being moved forward, a sense of direction, and it's that wind moving forward, a powerful sign of ultimate success. Only the most fortunate see the fade, though many have felt their passing. Things will pick up speed for you now, and your endeavours will flow swiftly towards a positive outcome. Continue forward with increased confidence. That's very much the energy of the Chariot, but it's the fairy wind carrying you forward with motion and speed through the forest. So you can see how, you know, with the changes, you can see how it still reflects that archetypal imagery. Just realised I didn't show you the backs. The backs of the cards are like owls here. So if you're quite fond of owls, then you'll like the back. And of course, it's reversible if you acquire reversals. So this is the Strength card. Love there with the wolf and the woman there with the wolf. And it's almost, there's the story behind it in the book about it being like the Little Red Riding Hood type of story, and the wolf and how she's almost like tame the wolf, as it were, or, you know, the Strength card, but I still allowed the wolf to be the wolf and she's herself, and they're coexisting there. And it's all story in the guidebook that I'm not going to go into, but you know, it's things that you would encounter in the enchanted forest and the sort of forest type myths and fables and stories that you would get that are set in these enchanted forests, like that kind of story. You've got here a little badger in his cave. There is the hermit, so that reminds me very much of Simon at the hermit's cave there, and I hope he's feeling as snug and warm in his cave as this badger is. So you've got the Enchanter's Wheel, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and what a beautiful wheel, the spiraling, the moving cycles of life, etc. Justice is the huntsman, and to cut a long story short, basically this is like from the huntsman is a figure that makes sure that things are done fairly and in the forest. So justice, integrity and fair dealings, legal and ethical matters, truth and honour, giving and receiving respect. Traditional meaning of the justice card there. He's the one that defends the well-being of the forest and its creatures by protecting the vulnerable, making sure things are done fairly. So it's very much of seeing things are done in a just and fair way. So that's why the huntsman is representing the justice archetype there. So then you've got the hanged man, which is suspension, suspended. You've got the upside down figure. And that's like he's suspended in like an amber resin, and waiting to ready for change and getting into position, and just that pause of being preserved, ready for continuing and into change. There's a few symbols in here that mean something as well. I think that the dragonfly that's there in the amber is a symbol of change and self-realization. The presence of a dragonfly in the sorcerer's amber cocoon, it's a sorcerer's amber cocoon, is an affirmation that he's on the right track in the pursuit of wisdom. But that may mean a new point of view, initiation, surrender to this, mystical messages, a retreat from daily life, heeding an inner call, and putting a pause on things as well by that amber cocoon that he's in. So you're getting the idea of some of the changes of the cards have been made, but still stick with the meaning. We have here the equivalent of the death card, which is called Black Shook. Card 13 is Black Shook, and that is actually a sort of like a myth from the UK, particularly the East Anglia region, where the Black Shook is sent to be a portent of death. He doesn't bring death, but he reminds people of death. He won't harm you. Black Shook comes not to take your life, but as a memento mori, a reminder that death awaits you, and life is not to be wasted. So it's a reminder that life is not to be wasted, to value the life that you have, and this present life that you're in, make the most of it. The knowledge that time is finite, that there is an ending to this present incarnation of your life. It does mean, can mean change, like the death card can mean transition, release of the old to make way for the new, making peace with an ending. So it's basically reminding us that, yes, things do come to an end, and our life will end, our current life will end, and yeah, make the most of it. And I think that's a really good. But it's the dog used to appear usually, in places was particularly supposedly been seen in times past, and it's like particularly like in the East Anglia region, which is like the southeastern kind of region of the UK, and it's that kind of legends and things like that ties into. So it was interesting to have that as the death card. The forged there is the temperance. When you think how things are forged, they're temperance. Things are tempered by heating something up, then putting it from the fire, then putting it into the water to strengthen it. So it's that blend of elements of fire and water we often get with the temperance card. So it's getting that measurement. You've got this this dwarf sort of forge here where they're crafting things and strengthening them with the elements of fire and water. It's getting that balance between the two, the blend of the two, which gives us our strength and all that kind of meaning, which it fits. The liar is the name for the devil, to tempt you, mislead you, but it's up to us whether we believe the lies or not. We can choose to believe them and follow them, or we can take matters into our own hands and believe our own truth rather than follow the lies that are presented to us. The tower is the folly and the very outturn, the things that perhaps we foolishly build are not right, and they come to an end because we need to build something better in our lives. The tower moment there. Starlight is the star, so as you can see, but seeing the starlight through the gap in the trees, seeing it looking up through the top of the forest, marvellous. The moon card is beautiful. There with the moon reflected in the pool, you've got the hair, so you've got like the moon, the hair in the moon sort of legend there, story there, and he's gazing into the moon. Some's gazing up at the moon there, but some's getting into the pool and seeing the reflection. But it's merely a reflection. It's not really the moon, it's a reflection. And it's that sort of like illusory, reflective sort of energy of the moon card. Brilliant. We had starlight for the star, and for the sun we've got sunlight breaking through the trees. You know, bringing the new day. Beautiful, that pan creature. Playing away, you know, creativity. There, playing the music, and there's the welcoming the dawn, breaking through the trees in the forest. Brilliant. So here we have Judgment, or as this calls it, the Council of Animals, and I know from one of the reviews that this is all about the animals come to judge things and to make you know, decisions about it. This is a council that, you know, to see where things people need to be brought to account. Things, you know, the consequences are followed by actions, and these animals here are part of the council that we have to face. That you know, the karma coming back, and you know, but a chance to perhaps make atonement or put things right, or you know, it's that coming into play. And the world is called the Wide World, and here we have the White Hart again as emerged from the forest. We've gone right through the forest with the major arcana, and now we have the wide open country, the wide open world. We've learnt the lessons of the forest, and now we've got the whole world before us. So we've completed one journey, but then we can start a new journey. So it's very much that aspect of the world card. So here we've got, these are the aces. You've got the ace of spells, which is like the wands, ace of visions, which is the cups, ace of challenges, which is swords, ace of boons, which is coins, pentacles, and you've got the twos. And I'll just quickly go through the minors here. Two of visions, two of cups, so you've got that two-person connection there that you normally have with the two of cups. Two of challenges, two of boons, the threes, three of spells, three of visions. That's the three of cups, so you've got the three bears there dancing, having fun, fellowship, friendship. Three of challenges, three of swords, very much like a, you know, the story behind that. And the three of boons, three of pentacles working together to create something. The four of spells is the fours, four of visions, four of challenges, which is like the four of swords, and that's a rowan tree. And this is like in the midst of a sort of a winter forest that's full of thorns and all sorts of treacherous things, dangerous things, and trying to make your way through this that kind of forest. But here at the centre there's a place of respite where you can seek shelter. Rowan, a sort of symbol of protection, so you've got that sense of being able to take a rest, safety, and gather yourself and your thoughts before you continue through the perilous forest. So there you go, that's like the four of swords, that's four changes, so that's the four of boons, 5s, the 6s, sevens, the 8s. That's the 8 of spells, which is like the 8 of wands. So that's that fast movement through the air, rather than the staffs, you know, through, you know, the actual owls, birds. 8 of visions, 8 of challenges, 8 of boons, 9 of spells, 9 of visions, 9 of challenges. That's like the nightmare card, hiding there with sort of the perceived idea that you've been things in the forest watching you and taking hiding away there. 9 of boons, and you've got the 10 of spells, 10 of visions, 10 of challenges, 10 of boons. And now the court cards are renamed. You've got the child, which is like the page. So you've got spells, visions, got that young energy that we associate with the pages. Child of challenges, child of boons. The knights are called seekers, so that's seeker of spells. And you've got, like, I think you've got 2 female, 2 male characters in the seekers. Seeker of visions, seeker of challenges, seeker of boons. The queens are called weavers, weaving things together. The weaver of spells, what a beautiful image that is. Weaver of visions, weaver of challenges, which is like the queen of swords, and whoa. Weaver of boons, so that's like the queen of pentacles. And the kings are called keepers, the keepers of the suit. So you've got keepers of spell, keeper of visions, which is actually, you know, he's that much of a keeper of the element of water. He's a fish. Salmon, I believe, actually, if I remember right. A keeper of challenges, so that's like the king of swords. And then you've got a keeper of boons, the king of pentacles. So, there we have it. Lovely deck, lovely images. I'm looking forward to working with it. I'm going to edge the deck in a green to match the backs. And I may insert an extra bit on the end of the video once I've done that, before I upload, so that you can see how this is how they are now, and then now here's how they are edged. So this is the deck edged in green, as I said I was going to do. Really fits the overall look of the deck. So that, folks, is the unboxing of the Forest of Enchantment Tarot. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if it seems like a deck that you might like, then see if you can get hold of it, and I'll let you know how I get on with it. And so thank you for watching, and I will see you all again very soon. Okay, bye bye.